Hey everybody, welcome back. Once again, we'll be doing a big board here pretty soon. Probably do less big boards and move over to DraftKings with the overlay that they're cooking up. I think I would rather get my money in on over there. Thanks, Victor, for showing up. Anthony, if you didn't make it back, thank you for stopping in. But either way, we'll talk a little bit more about DraftKings in a minute. But I'm entering a big board in about 10 seconds. I have to enter on my phone. So 11 of 12, one spot. Or no, there's 11 left. Or nope, I'm wrong. Waiting for one. I don't. My phone showed completely different than it did here. Yeah, so I will show the contest on DraftKings real quick. No, it's on. I'm not familiar with this website that much, so maneuvering it takes me a minute. But their entry fee's the same, $10. And if you go to contest details here, it closes on draft day, and there's 117.7 or point 0.5 total, and only almost 18K entrants. So you have they have a little under a month to get 100,000 people. It's probably going to be pretty hard for them to fill. So I would expect there to be overlay, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to do as many as I can, and I might actually stream the DraftKings ones over this. It depends on if people care either way. So I got the 7 hole. I don't feel like I could draft in the middle of the board that often, so pretty happy. Pretty happy to draft in the middle. It's the best spot to like get fallers because you can get them from both ends if people are doing their own thing and not really drafted by ADP. And this dancing Janikowski guy, he I've seen him the last couple days, and he's definitely done some unique things. So Neighbors has been flying up the board. I'm going to go ahead and take Neighbors. Uh, that Janikowski guy though did take Bijan Robinson, who I personally have as running back one on Underdog and in the PPR sites as well. Kind of went over it with Tyler Algier uh, about a week ago. Like as the season went on, they took more and more work from Algier and gave more to Bijan. So I believe that that's just a philosophy that they're going to fully embrace this year. Michael Penix is going to elevate the offense, and I could see Bijan being running back one pretty easily. And I mean, obviously, they're running back; they have a chance to get hurt. But to me, I like him repeating what he done more than what I like Saquon repeating. Anthony says he ended the season with 2 TDs in each of the last 3 games. I think he might be high score. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, and when it mattered, they definitely used him. They used him a lot. And with I believe their offense will be better because Cousins couldn't move last year and Penix played well. So I I'm not out on Jahmyr Gibbs. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, but the Lions and like are a little scary with the movement of offense coordinator and all. I'll go ahead. I don't want to be underweight on AJ Brown, and I tend to always take Taylor or McConkey here, or even Higgins. Give a little divisional correlation. Also set up Jalen Hurts, who I don't have a lot of. Uh, if I feel like the tier has dropped there, I'll be able to do that. First round. Well, that's unique. I wonder if Ryan's going to try to take Jaden at 30. Yeah, but I just I think Saquon's going to have a very hard time repeating what he done. They do have, I mean, they lost Mekhi Becton, but that's not necessarily a death sentence. Like the rest of the offensive line's still amazing, and their defense is still really good. So they're probably going to be playing from ahead a lot. He'll probably still do really well. Is he going to run? I think he had what, 8 40-yard rushes or touchdowns last year? Where is, why is Saquon not on my sheet anymore? There he is. Okay. So he had 7 40-yard rushes and 4 of them were touchdowns. Like that is crazy. I don't think that repeats. And if that halves, I mean that's still really good, but that's what, 20 points for the year, something like that, which would put him in line with the rest of the running backs. Wanted to discuss Eagles and Hurts and wide receiver because there's no way they can get away with running so much this season. Yeah, 370 attempts was so low. Yeah, and if their defense is as good as it was, and the reason the attempts were low was because they were massively ahead a lot, right? One reason I'm not overweight on AJ Brown or Devontae Smith, but I am at weight at both of them because if I'm right on Saquon regressing a little, they're probably going to have to supplement that with the passing game. So I don't want to be underweight on the Eagles offense altogether. I think I would rather take my shots at the wide receivers. I never bought into the JSN in the second round. To me, it was I thought it was pretty laughable. And I really liked JSN, I thought, going into this year. And then the Darnold thing happened and they moved him way up. And then I basically got none of him early. So this is where I've had JSN the whole year. Whenever Darnold went there, I moved him up a couple spots, but like I never got him because he was going over here. So I'm glad I never bought into that. It could have backfired. The Cup signing helped me with the ADP. Anthony says, I like Brown more than Smith because he gets the one-on-one stuff downfield, but I hear you. Won't be much under or over on them. Yeah, the thing is when those wide receivers hit, they usually hit hard. They they will spike pretty often, and want to point out he did not go Jaden Daniels, and so, but yeah, I was actually kind of out on Devontae Smith, like a little bit, and whenever that file I have with all the spikes and stuff, like it got me into him a little more because he's had two nuclear weeks last year, and I didn't think that when he hit that hard. So having somebody like that, especially if it's a fourth receiver like it would be here, and team correlation would be nice. Now, I kind of want to take Jaden. I've been wanting to get more Jaden Daniels and uh, Lamar, but I think here I'm just gonna try to live the dream, see what happens if I push Hurts. Like 99%, I don't get him, but even if I don't, I have two late quarterbacks I could stack with. I have divisional correlation with those two and neighbors. So, and the running backs I can take whenever I want, really. Like as long as when I get to them, I stay on them. And I haven't done a zero RB team for a little while, so I think this would be a good time to try it. Thank you for stopping in, Anthony. Best Ball on Call, another channel. If you are not, you should go subscribe to him. George Kittle, 47. I think that's very fair. That offense is probably going to be passing the ball more this year, and Kittle was the tight end one points per game. So, I mean, getting him in the fourth round, like the back end of the fourth round, feels really good. Like I see him slide to the back end of the fifth quite often, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Was just thinking, I don't see you go zero RB, so it'll be fun. Yeah, I honestly go zero RB quite a bit, or I used to. I just I love Hampton. Like I absolutely love Amarian Hampton, and I take him pretty often. And then I think the running backs from like 57 to 68 are by far better than the running backs or than the wide receivers are in that range. Like I don't really like Pickens. I don't like Jerry Judy. I don't really like DK Metcalf even. Uh, so I almost clicked autopilot by double clicking. Here, do I want to go with Addison? Or do I want to take Kenneth Walker and get a little bit of team correlation? I don't love their. I think when it comes back around to me, there'll be a wide or a running back I like a little more. So I'll go ahead and take Addison. Another, since Hurts went, which I expected, it gives me another out to a quarterback who's also late and later than the running backs that I like. So it will allow me to build hopefully, a stronger team. Hampton is a 1K runner as a rookie. In your opinion, I like him a lot too. Right. I'm viewing it as he gets a good landing spot. Like if he gets the landings, like one of there's like 12 or 13 landing spots he could have that I think by BBM he's going up here with Bucky and Jacobs. Like I think there's just so many spots that he could land that I think he's going up over there. I mean, my personal dream spot would be that Andy Reid decides that he wants to take a running back in the first round again, but actually a good one this time. We need offensive line more as a team, but for fantasy, it would be fantastic because our defense is still mostly in line. Uh, Justin Reed is gone, so we'll give up some more points, which will make like probably make us score a little more. But when we're ahead, Hampton's the perfect kind of guy for that. I do think KC is going to look to take a running back. But number one, I don't think Hampton's going to be there at 31. And number two, I believe that first round pick will be offensive line. That's one of the things Andy Reid has done in the past. And I would say the second round or early third round pick we have will be a running back. But like a spot like that, you're I don't know where you guys think, but I would be taking him before Kyron at that point, for sure. And like I thought, all these running backs always available here. And this range, yeah, Debo Samuel's the other one. I don't love Debo. It will be nice to the guy who took McLaurin. Go ahead and pass him. Not that I wanted them anyway. Take a share of Quinshon Judkins. On the way back around, there's a whole bunch of running backs that I kind of like. I have 5 receivers, 5 in a row, all NFC. I actually need to go look up the list of who plays what division and all that just to kind of know. Agree about running back versus wide receiver in that range. Right. And that's the one like I've did a bunch of teams lately to where I have 2 running backs by this point. And it usually just means that I have 3 running backs by this point because I dislike the receivers. And if the room continues to punish wide receiver, it does feel bad. But I can usually stop at 5 running backs when I do that. What's the deal with Pacheco? Is he still recovering from the injury? Or did the injury do him in? Yeah, will he? I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I know he wasn't healthy when he came back, but I personally didn't think he looked as good as I expected before he got hurt. And our offensive line is worse. So, and I don't remember how much they signed Kareem Hunt for. We'll look that up real quick. But Pacheco was he was a 7th round pick. And teams move off 7th round picks. It's nasty, but it's something that happens. I don't really want. This is a spot I should probably be interested in Caleb Johnson, but I don't want to pair Caleb Johnson with Judkins as a rookie. I think Tony Pollard is actually a little underrated right now. But instead of that, like if I did not have a Viking on this team, I would have taken Pollard. But to help even out exposures a little, like I break ties towards correlation. Right, go back to this. Yeah, so I guess Hunt's not really getting paid that much. So yeah, basically nothing. Elijah Mitchell got more than that. But I basically just think KC will, like, I think they're for sure taking a running back in the first 3 rounds. I would be floored if they don't. That regime has taken running backs in the first before. They definitely want to run the ball better than they did last year. Part of that was our tackles struggled a little bit. We signed a tackle. We're going to kick the tackle we drafted last year who sucked. We're going to kick him into guard. And then we still have to fill in for Joe Thuney. But this is a pretty deep offensive line class, so I could see us going tackle, and the tackle we signed is just for 1 year. But Anthony says Godwin consistently going over Sutton last few days. Glad I got him when I could. Right. I just, as soon as he signed, I spiked his ADP all the way up to the 4-5 turn, and I've just kept it there. I take it there. Don't even think about it. I don't worry about if I lost a little bit of ADP or not. This would be awesome if Hawkinson does not get taken here. He does not. Something else you'll see is I've moved Stefon Diggs way, way up. I missed this on the 25th when it got posted, but he's supposed to be ready for week 1. Like, he's on pace to be healthy to play week 1. And if we get Stefon Diggs the entire season, even an old Stefon Diggs, who people like, yeah, he's not the superstar he was, but he's still serviceable. He was fairly solid last year. Yeah, but with Pacheco, I think that they lost a little faith in what he could do before they signed Hunt last year, before he got hurt. In my eyes, he didn't look the same. We've been spamming Hawk recently. Absolutely love his value for ADP. As for Diggs, I'm in Houston and watch every single snap of last season, and he isn't worth the contract, not even close. Well, that's fine. And I'm not going to disagree with that. But there is a salary floor in the NFL, and New England has to try to get to it. And like, not saying it's great, but you do have to, like, I forget what the penalty is for not reaching the salary floor. And I think it used to be 10% of the, like, whatever the maximum cap is. It was like you had to be 90% of that. I think that's changed. I'm not positive, but I think that's changed. And because of that, and because Godwin refused $20 extra million, and other players have basically refused money to go play for them, I don't hate it. He really is a slot specialist. Maybe some value in full PPR. Yeah, New England had to overpay because, right, exactly. And another thing with him, like, you got to remember, New England has an early second, right? Jaden Higgins and Alec Iomanor are both outside X receivers, and I think that if whichever one of those they like, they're just going to take. So I think here, I'm probably going to go ahead and take Diggs and try to set up Drake May for the wraparound. And I'm pretty much done at wide receiver. Like, I'll probably take one late, but I could be done at wide receiver here. Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Stefon Diggs, Quinshon Judkins, Aaron Jones, and Hawkinson. I have a double stack that I won't get the quarterback. For the Eagles, I have a running back, tight end, and wide receiver for the Vikings. Feels like the right spot. I moved him up an entire round above that, but the reason I done that is because I have a whole bunch of Jalen McMillan because I was taking him before Godwin signed. I'm 100% out on Cooper Kupp, and I basically just slotted him right where Christian Kirk went with Christian Kirk there because I'm not overweight him. I think I have 9 or 10%, but I'm also very big on Drake May this year. So you put him at 85, so you didn't forget. Right, and that's kind of more what I did. I'm not going to say I'm going to draft him there. Where did Travis Hunter go? Travis Hunter went at 82. Because I put him one spot behind Travis Hunter, is what I did. And I put Travis Hunter right behind Hawkinson. I did not realize that Hunter went. So with I know what I want to do. One of two players with my next pick. Drake May's the obvious one, and the other one would be obviously not a wide receiver. And if you've watched me draft a couple times, you probably know who I want. Michael Pittman, somebody I took a little bit early, and I haven't taken a lot late. And then Keon Coleman, somebody I was very into. Just because he is the deep ball guy, and Josh Allen threw, like, he had 4 40-yard receptions last year, which was, I think it was the 10th most tied for 10th most in the league. Drake May makes it back. No surprise. Go ahead and get my first quarterback stack. Hopefully one of the there's 3 running backs I like that are still left on the board. Hopefully one of them make it back to me here. And the 2-hole doesn't take JJ McCarthy here. So if he does, or if the running backs go, I'll just take JJ here and call it good. If the running backs don't go, I'll take one and try to snag JJ here. Nobody on this side of the board has a Viking. The only thing that could happen is like the 12-hole take Jordan Mason and JJ McCarthy. Pat Stack, so cheap. Absolutely love to sneak them in with other teams fully correlated. Right. Yep. And they're probably going to be playing from behind a little bit. They're also probably going to invest in the offensive line quite a bit, which will make Drake May look better. Drake May in, I think it was 12 games. He had 421 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think he played 12 games. Let me look that up real quick. He played 13 games. Okay. I assume on Twitter. Or X. Sorry, don't mean to offend anything. People think Nix has higher rushing yards upside because he started fast, but May is both a better runner and thrower. The fact he goes, I think they should go, like, whenever I did my initial rankings, I had them together. Like, oh, this is exactly what I didn't want to happen. Do I want to go ahead and just snag him? Or do I want to work on a backstack of Dak Prescott? I think I might just backstack Dak Prescott. I don't have a lot of Dak Prescott. I don't have a lot of Ferguson, but this will give me divisional correlation with Malik Neighbors and AJ, or the Eagles as well. And then I'm probably just gonna, this is probably gonna be an 8 running back build. That's probably, those running backs, like, I really wanted Cam Scatterbo or Tank Bigsby. And Mason is the other running back that I was talking about that I liked. I just had a moment that I forgot that I also had Aaron Jones. Maybe I should have just handcuffed them together. But I think I'm fine with this. Yeah, and back to this. Whenever I did my very initial rankings, it was completely off from everything, everybody, like the way ADP shaked out. But I just kind of put some loose things up. to have an idea for myself for the first couple drafts, and then adjusted whenever drafts happened to see what people were doing. Uh, I had them back to back, but I had them both where Bo Nix goes now. So it's not that I think the Bo Nix price is bad. It's that I think that Drake May is just super cheap, and that's why I have so much of him. And Bo Nix has, like, he has the better offense. Bo probably goes earlier due to the stack partner. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Sutton goes a couple rounds before. And early on, Bo Nix was going at 86, 85 because Sutton was going on this side of the board. And since Sutton's moved up in price, Bo Nix actually moved down in price. Yeah, the O line and weapons is really good. Like, he's going to throw more touchdowns, but he probably won't have as big as spikes. But I had him on a team with Josh Allen last year in a high roller, and he outscored Allen like a few weeks, and a lot of weeks he was like just a couple points away. The difference is Josh Allen had very few bad weeks, and Nix had several weeks that were kind of unusable. And it kind of felt like when the Broncos were in control of games, he seemed to run less. Like when their offensive line did everything right and their defense was playing good, and they were playing from ahead, he wouldn't run as much. But whenever they were in a battle, just from what I remember watching, I could go look this up, but I believe that most of the games he had the high points were when they were kind of behind, which makes sense. And also another reason why Drake may be the better fantasy quarterback over Bo Nix this year. And if they can get some offensive line help for Drake May, I mean the sky's the limit. Like if that if Travis Hunter makes it to them, or Abdul Carter or whatever, which I don't think is going to be the case, and then they trade back. All right, so I really don't like Javonte Williams. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Rico. I think no, I think I'll go ahead and take a Javonte Williams share here. It's a stack with the quarterback, if nothing else. If I don't get the back stack, like if somebody takes takes Ferguson here, or I guess somebody already took Ferguson. So yeah, if I'd have noticed that, I wouldn't have thought about it at all. I missed that Ferguson went, so I'm super. And then I think he went after I clicked the X. That's how I didn't notice. Um, but yeah, I'm into Drake May for sure. And I do believe that if it's possible, they will want to trade back. And if they can do that and get an offensive lineman there, and then at the beginning of the second, get a Jaden Higgins or a Alec Iomanor, like, and then use the additional capital to also fix the offensive line, it could be a really good second half of the season. Because if you have two rookies on your offensive line, you're probably not going to be elite day one. It's probably going to take a little bit for them to gel. And offensive line continuity matters a ton. And this is, you hear offensive linemen say that, like when they know how this guy is going to block this play, they know when the defense does things, if they need to cover for it or not. Javonte is not a terrible click. Everyone thought Cowboys were drafting a running back last year and didn't. Yeah. The problem is I was very in on Rico last year. I had 45% of him in the big board because I didn't think I thought Dallas was telegraphing what they wanted to do too much, and somebody would trade in front of him and take Jonathan Brooks, and that they just wouldn't take somebody after that, or take somebody late, which was right. And then it didn't pay off in the end, but I ended up having that correct. I'm going to go ahead and take Rachaad White. He's got a guaranteed role. He's the pass down back there. They love him. The more I think about the Sean Tucker stuff, I just believe, like, I do think they might run Sean Tucker a little more. But he's also like, if Bucky Irving gets hurt, Rachaad White's going to keep his same role, and Sean Tucker probably just fills in for that. I could be wrong. I have a bunch of Rachaad White. Maybe I'm wish casting this, but so, but I actually liked, back to this. I liked Rico Dowdle anyway. Like, I thought that he was an okay enough runner that they should have been okay, and I think he played reasonably well last year. I know he has a lot of haters. I mean, he didn't score very many touchdowns, but neither did the Cowboys altogether, right? So I don't really think you can fault him for, well, they didn't use him until like the middle of the season. And then that's when Dak got hurt. So he didn't, when Dak got hurt, sometime around then is when they started letting him be like carry the workload a lot more. And he looked like a serviceable back at that point. And I think I had 20. Rico was my number one in BBM as well, 25%, which I didn't do good in BBM, so it didn't matter either. But I just think that Rico, as a runner, is a better runner than Javonte Williams. And I think Dallas's offensive line is pretty porous, and Carolina's offensive line is okay. So I personally like Rico more, and I'm more anti Javonte than like just from a talent perspective. I'm going. What's top three things you learned from best ball last year? I'm planning on going and making an actual list to go through it all. Mostly chasing injuries don't do it. Like, whenever the players I was in on got hurt, like Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren, I was at like 18%. But wow, only tight ends available, huh? I mean, I think this is a pretty easy decision here. Take the Hunter Henry. The running backs are gross. I'm probably not going to love my running backs. This is probably going to be an 8 running back team. Maybe. Let's see, 3 quarterbacks, 7 wide receivers, 10, probably 3. Yeah, so it'll be a 7 running back team. But yeah, like Jaylen Warren, I was taking him at ADP in the early 90s all the way up to like, I was taking him at like 86 to 90, and I took the same 3 players in that range the entire time. It was basically Brock Bowers, Jaylen Warren, and Jaden Daniels. I took a lot right in that area. Well, so like number one, the problem with that was I had no exposure to the other players that went there, like all of them. Running back grows fast. It's why I've gone from drafting 4 wide receiver in top 5 rounds down to 3. Yeah, I I agree. Hero running back feels better, but my savior might make it back to me. My one true hero. He's about to go. I can feel it. Um, not only did I like, so I removed those other people. Yep, there he goes. My hero. He's gone. All right, so running back is basically just dead to me. I'll fill out these other two positions real quick. Uh, Another divisional correlation there with Zach Ertz. Done there. Like, I mean, this running back room could work. Like, Aaron Jones is a starter. Javonte is a starter currently. Rachaad White has a role. Judkins should get enough capital to have a role. So if I add three more guys who have upside and one of them hit, it could work. Gonna listen while you drive to my girls. Yep, will do. So the like with back to the Jaylen Warren thing, like he got a hamstring thing and he started falling in ADP. Well, when he was falling in ADP, I started just taking more of him because he was late in ADP. Yes, he probably could have got over the. They said it wasn't anything, but it was obvious that that injury nagged him the whole time. And I did this with a couple players, like DeAndre Hopkins. I did it with. Uh, Hollywood Brown, I didn't think we're going to be out for 14 weeks when he got hurt, so I took even more of him when he fell. But like, just not taking those players would have made my team so much better. All of them. We'll take a little bit of rookie upside with Brashard Smith. I'm probably going to take all rookies at this point, unless like I might take Will Shipley, somebody like that. I know who I want my last round pick to be. I might just take him at 223. It's a wide receiver, so let's see. Did Kyle Williams go yet? He goes all over the place now. He is not. But if I would have tapered off of the people that I had high exposure on after they had a minor injury, or like Hollywood, they didn't really say what it was going to be. It didn't come out that he needed surgery until after the contest closed, I believe. Hey, thank you for showing up, Gamblestein. That is hopefully going to be my theme song. It's like if I just have to pay a little bit, like eventually I'm going to make an intro and that is probably going to be it. It's actually like my real life nickname. All my buddies call me Who. So, and that's been a thing for years. Yeah, so like the Jaylen Warren thing, it killed me last year. Uh, I'm not going to repeat that mistake again. I'm going to go ahead and take Will Shipley. More more correlation on in the NFC the NFC East. Good call on the intro. I'm sure it's gonna right. Like I guess I'm gonna have to look at it, but they were talking in another stream the other day about there's songs you can use on YouTube, and then there's other ones you can just pay them like $1 a month to use. And if it's one of those, I would totally be into it. And I'm sure I could find another song that's similar to that, like a cartoon or something. Right, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's probably like it's definitely licensed. My bad for not bringing the board down. So that was the number one lesson I learned last year, though. To the people I have a high exposure on, when they get hurt, like don't just buy more of them at the lower ADP, believing you're right. Uh, three players I did that with: Jalen Warren, um, Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown, there wasn't really information out there about it, and then DeAndre Hopkins was the other one. Like I kind of thought Will Levis wasn't going to be the worst quarterback we've ever seen. I didn't think he was going to be good, but I didn't think he would throw picks from his knees. Any Chiefs players? Well, the funny thing is Hopkins wasn't a Chief whenever I was in on him, and historically, like I've been out on Hopkins always. Uh, just because I was an Andre Johnson fan and I felt like Houston treated him poorly. That shouldn't have affected the way I feel about DeAndre Hopkins, but I ain't gonna lie, it did. Yeah, I was overweight on every single Chief last year, and it went very poorly. He fumbles from his knees too. Yeah, he like he's very good, or he's I guess he's not good on his knees. Maybe Will Levis needs to learn to not be on his knees. All right, so we're still behind at running back. I'm gonna look for probably just take a rookie shot here. I do like LaQuinn Allen. I'm at 10%. I think that's fine. I liked Andre too. He beat the stuffing out of Cortland Finnegan. He should have a lifetime contract for that fight. Hopefully Dana White can hook something up. I would pay to watch that. Like I mean, Cortland Finnegan's like half his size though, so I doubt that it would work. But no, that was one of the things, and then like I was also wrong on Jonathan Brooks, like which was also an injured player. I just thought that they would at least that he was. It sounded like to me that he was going to be healthy enough to play, and that was just me probably wishcasting it. And I mean that one was just fully bad all the way through. So I have no excuse for that. It happened, but he was my like I had 24% Jonathan Brooks, like a player who plays a week and a half. It's pretty hard to, and that was a 10th round pick the whole season. And he was another one. Like I was at like 18, 19%, and it started getting pushed back like a week or two that he was going to start, and I just bought more of them. So like whenever the players I like start falling, like the falling knife theory, I just didn't believe it, and I learned it last year. So that's one of the big things I learned since you asked. You you weren't wish casting on Brooks. The world was told he was coming back. Yeah, exactly. And if he came back in week 6 with a role, like even if he would have like at week 12 with a role and he would have not re-injured it, like I don't think I would have felt awful about him in the 11th or 12th round cuz he fell another whole round. So this running back room is a little sketch. Um I haven't taken LeQuint Allen for a while, so I'll go ahead and take him. teams were really downplaying offseason injuries last year too. Yes, exactly. And that is part two of the things I learned is not only do you not like part of the not only do you not take those players, but definitely do not believe anything the coaches say about a player who has an injury. Like if you don't see them working out, doing things, just assume that it's worst case scenario. That's what I'm going to do this year. And like, which is funny because I'm kind of in on Rashee Rice, but I'm in on him at his ADP, assuming that he's healthy enough to get a 6 game suspension and like he'll be healthy after the 6 game suspension. So, okay, is it going to kick me out or am I going to be able to review my team? If they are seeing additional specialists, take them off your board. That is a very good way to put it. Like McCaffrey last year. I'm ready to hear in like 2 months that he's going back to Germany. I'm just ready. I'm ready to hear that. So I did 13 dingers today because I can with no knowledge of what I'm doing. So wish me luck. So my team, Drake May, Dak Prescott, JJ McCarthy, Quinshon Judkins, Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, Rashad White, Rashad Smith, Will Shipley, LeQuint Allen Jr. That's a classic zero RB running back room. Feels okay. I don't like Javonte. We already went over that. But with Dallas and with the person before me taking Ferguson, like, it's at least somewhat of a stack. I knew I was going to get Turpin later. So, like, taking the unstacked Dak kind of backfired, but I don't know. It's fine. Javonte does catch passes, so my wide receivers, Malik Neighbors, A.J. Brown, JSN, Devontae Smith, Jordan Addison, Steph Diggs, Kavontae Turpin. Heavy wide receiver correlated with Diggs and May and Addison Hawkinson with J.J. McCarthy. Also have Hunter Henry with Drake May. So Hawkinson, Henry, Zach Ertz. It's a pretty solid team. It's definitely not the best. The taking the naked Dak to try to get Jake Ferguson the next round. Like, well, I took Dak and then JJ and hoped that Ferguson fell because he falls quite often back to me. That didn't work. So, but the reason I was okay doing that is because I believe them paying $6 million a year for 3 years to Kavontae Turpin that he's not going to be a role player, that he's going to actually be part of the offense. So I do want some Dak Prescott and Turpin stacks, and I don't get to Dak very often, so I feel pretty okay with that. Anthony does not hate my draft. That makes one person. Late round spamming myself, Turpin, that is. Right. And I really like Trey Tucker, Turpin, MBS, Kyle Williams, all in that last round. But yeah, everything where was that? There we go. Got burnt on everything you said. You mean you also got burnt on everything? So, but yeah, that's like the number one thing that I definitely learned from last year. I did get a team to a finals and it got 9th. So like I basically lost from 5th place to 9th place on that Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown, the second one in the last game. Okay, you as well. Yeah, I like just being like, okay, and I heard Pat Kerrane say it all the time. Okay, I got my exposure. There's bad news. If it works out, I still got them. Even though these people will get the better ADP, I don't care. It's fine. Getting burnt more is, and sometimes you just have to learn lessons firsthand, and that's what I did. It's like, you know what? This guy won the whole thing, has a company that, you know, does football content all the time. Maybe he's wrong. He was not wrong. So, but anyway, I'll get. I think I will start doing DraftKings drafts whenever I stream because this overlay is going to be nuts. Like, if it gets to over 80% filled, I'd be pretty shocked. And I think this contest has been open, what, 3 weeks? It's been open like 3 weeks. Let's say that. Oh, you're in a DK right now. I mean, if everybody's wanting to, I could just go ahead and try to join one. Let's see if that works. Hey, hey, it's old Wydad. I know Wydad. Gamblestein. So I hate this platform on PC. It is number one. I can't make this black. That drives me nuts. Oh my. Let me. What is going on here? Well, it's not going to show you all of this. So, yeah, I made it in. DX Filer, that is Gamblestein. And I am in the 9 hole. On DK, I really, really prefer the back end because for some reason, like I've got a like a I got an Almon BTJ team from the 11 hole, not even the 12 hole. The 2 hole, I took Bijan there. I actually like Bijan quite a bit in this because it's a full PPR. I did my own rankings earlier today, and I'm gonna try to set this up to look a little better. No. Yeah, so whenever I go back to this, you're not going to be able to see what I've started or what I've not. And as you can see, this is just a mess. The Spike Week thing does help. It will actually put them in order of the like running back, quarterback, and all that. But the draft board is nice. Chase Bijan is a toss up for one. I mean, I'm just going to take Chase at one every time because that's the only way you're going to get 8% Chase. uh, but yeah, I actually put Bijan ahead of JJ in my rankings. So my rankings is Chase, Bijan, then JJ, then Gibbs. I wish. Is that going to work? There we go. Does that look good for everybody? Does that look a little better? I have Saquon at 6. I went ahead and threw CeeDee Lamb up above him. Right. Gamblestein went ahead and took Bijan, like we were talking about. After this draft, I will have to go. I have to do chores before work tomorrow. So for the most part, I'm probably going to do streams on during the week, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. I probably won't. Didn't recognize you were on the clock. I saw me out of. Yeah, I'm here to help. I got a. I don't know if I want to put Amon higher on this site because the PPR. I am a little scared of Amon and the Lions this year. Like, do I think they're going to be productive? Yes. Do I think that they're all going to pay off their ADPs that they're at right now? That I'm not sure on. And I'm not going to have zero. I'm going to try to have like 4%, I think. I think I'll go ahead and take Nico here. I I kind of wanted to take BTJ. Every time you take Amon, you regret it. I I don't regret it. It actually makes me feel okay. I well the biggest problem with Amon, and we discussed this in private chat earlier, is Jared Goff. Yes, as you were just saying. The issue is every other wide receiver goes in that area, you're parrying a lot easier. Right. And like with 4 rounds later, right? Like Nico's like Stroud's like 4 rounds later. Lawrence is 4, maybe 5 rounds later. You have zero Amon-Ra St. Brown because literally take every single player with first round ADP over him. Correct. Um, I take him before Bowers and Achane. I I want to be at like 3 or 4%. It's kind of what I feel like. I'm a. You're still in here, best ball on call. I'm looking. Oh, hey, thank you. That is. I will definitely screenshot that and use that later. All right, it is my pick. And this is the part that makes this site kind of bad, like having to move up and down. So I love Lad McConkey on this site. Like full PPR, he's awesome. But you know who else is awesome? Achane. Achane had what was it? I can't remember how many receptions he had. Is he? Where in the world is he? 78 receptions, which was that's why Saquon was gone earlier. I had it sorted by receptions. Kamara had 68, Bijan 61, Brees 57. That's not going to happen again with Fields. Gibbs 54. So other than Bijan and Kamara, and he had 10 more than them, he was basically 25 ahead of everybody but Chase Brown, or no, even Chase Brown. So Bijan and Kamara. And I mean, you can put Brees Hall in that group. The problem is that he's definitely not going to get 60 receptions with Justin Fields throwing the ball. He's on my Brees Hall CMC do not draft list. It's all yeah. Oh, yeah. That is your whole everyone you don't like list. And I need to get less Brees Hall. I don't love the pick. And so he said he DM'd me earlier. What he did is he sent me a list of all the teams that play, like what divisions each team is going to play this year. I knew that the list was out. I just hadn't put it anywhere. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Ben. I think I was just telling them, I think I'm going to kind of move over and just, I'll still do underdog some, but I'm going to probably try to do most of my drafts on DraftKings, assuming there's a huge overlay. Yeah, like man, it feels great when, especially if it's a person right in front of you, every pick they make is every pick you wouldn't make. So, Achan, man, if T. Higgins falls to me, I'm going to be ecstatic. Gamblestein went Bijan, Bucky, DJ Moore. So, I'm assuming he's done. So, this is unique. Jaden Daniels does not make it down here very often on DraftKings. The quarterback, Lamar there, Josh Allen there. I don't like this ADP for Jaden Daniels, but for DraftKings, this is a very good ADP for Jaden Daniels because they use a lot of the time. All three of them go by pick 29. So, but yeah, in this format on DraftKings, like I'll go show you the wide receiver ranks. Like these are my personal ranks on this side, and over here's the ADP. We'll go down to the bottom. So like Jaden Higgins is 166 ADP on this site. Alec Iomanor 207. Isaiah Bond 198. Noel 199. Restrepo 207. Best 217. Royals 217. So if you like rookie wide receivers, Kyle Williams actually has a higher ADP than Underdog, which is hilarious. But the contest did start later, so it makes sense that it's that way. So running backs early do feel good on this website because it's easier to dig out from, in my opinion, because you have all those receivers to fall back on. I think Xavier Worthy is a pretty easy click here. I do love Amarian Hampton though. We'll go ahead and just take Worthy. Uh, if you're not familiar with DraftKings, their scoring is different. They have 100-yard rushing or 100-yard rushing and receiving bonuses. I believe it's 3 points. They have quarterback 300-yard bonus, which is I believe 3 points also. Can look up the details real quick. Yeah, I know you're a fellow Worthy Slappy as well. So passing TDs, all that's normal, but 300 yards gives you an extra 3 points. So not only do the elite rushing quarterbacks go higher here, but like the Derek Carrs are worth a little more here because of this. I'm not going to say you want to only get the late quarterbacks, but it helps even it out a little bit. 100-yard rushing game plus 3 points, and 100-yard receiving game plus 3 points. Go back to the draft board. Yeah, maneuvering this on a mouse and keyboard is awful because it doesn't put it all on one screen. It's like they have it sectioned off in like 4 sections. And if you're not clicked on the right one and you scroll, it just moves things around. You take DK Metcalf. I'm not big on him, but if they land Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins, like it's going to be perfectly fine pick right there. I he's a spike week guy too, and that's kind of what Worthy is. I personally feel a little better about Worthy than Metcalf. Alpha wide receivers, yeah. I haven't been able to get in on him. I'm probably going to start taking him more though, purely because I'm very exposed to all the other players I like in that area at this point, and adding him to the portfolio, like I'll probably take him more when I have the players I like in the first 3 rounds to get unique here and there. Yeah, I'm not sorry about that either. Just so we're clear. Uh, Takes Chase Brown. Yeah, so the earlier draft I did here, it was last night I done one, and I got Trey McBride in full PPR back at 31. I think it was 31. In full PPR, yeah, he is basically done at running back. Bijan, Bucky, and Chase Brown at 51. Like they probably add somebody, but if you looked at that list earlier, Chase Brown had the fourth most receptions of all the running backs last year, which is a shock to me. And you see right here, Tatario McMillan goes all the way down to 61 here. So we're going to go ahead and take Tet. Right, yeah. Chase and full PPR signed him up. Like I fully agree with that. And at 51, like why would you not do that? And so the team I got I had Hampton last night fell to no, I was in the 5 hole. So McBride made it to 29, and then at 53 I got Omari and Hampton. And I think that team I think they let Bijan fall to me at 5. It felt really good. Like on DraftKings I won't get to very many elite quarterbacks, but hey, hold on a second. Okay. For some reason, my chat wasn't updating. DK is notorious for sniping quarter. Right. Yeah, that's quarterbacks go like 25% earlier on DraftKings. So just having somebody you know you can trust on no matter what feels really good. Do I want to take I kind of want to take Olave here, but Travion Henderson provides so much upside on a full PPR site. I think I'm going to go ahead and take Henderson. I already have one pass catching running back. Henderson is a second. There's a chance Henderson could be the guy that falls to Washington. Like, I don't think that'll happen. Maybe Washington moves. They've been aggressive this offseason. If the running backs start going off the board, I could see Washington trading up to make sure they secure one of them they like. And he is absolutely right. They sniped the hell out of him. Like, you better just take a quarterback. If you never push a quarterback on DK if you're not familiar. Yeah, so the full PPR thing, like, is a huge deal. And Bucky Irving, like, he didn't say anything about Bucky. And everybody knows that, like, Rachaad White's the receiving back and all that. Rachaad White had 51 catches last year, which is which was number 6, I think, at running back. You won't guess where Bucky Irving was. 2 picks under him, 2 spots under him at 47. Bucky came on late, and he still had 47 receptions. That's something a lot of people don't notice. And in a full PPR site, that's huge. I know they lost the offense coordinator. Maybe they don't run as much of the Texas stuff or the I forget what it was called, but whatever the two running back thing was, like they had two running backs on the field at the same time. Henderson and Washington might be the nuts landing spot. He may be running back one in the class to pair him with Daniels it would be nuts. And let's say that he's available still at like pick 14 in the second round. If I'm Washington, I'm probably thinking about moving up. Like, get some electricity on there and like Debo to do the dirty work. You have McLaurin to go deep, Jaden to go do everything, right? And you have somebody that goes out of the backfield who can also go deep. Like it would be really good. Yeah, in an RPO system, it would be absolutely nuts. And I mean, the most fun answer is probably Scatabo. Like, if at the late, like for me and my bags, Scatabo there would be pretty awesome because the RPO system would help hide his speed a little. And as long, like, with those DNs have to hold up a minute, if you let him get running, like, he's going to have some chunk gains. And he's awesome at receiving. Speaking of absolutely nuts, what a team. Yeah, your team is pretty stacked here. Robinson, Irving, DJ Moore, 27, Metcalf, Brown, Pearsall. I really like Pearsall this year. Calvin Ridley. So one problem with Jaden Daniels here is Zach Ertz. I was looking whenever I did my rankings earlier. Zach Ertz on this website goes at pick 135 or something. So if I want to get my Daniel stack that I love, I have to kind of give up a bunch of ADP value there. I don't know if I'm going to do that or just run him naked. I have not decided that. Whenever we get to that point, yeah, I that's kind of where I'm at. Like, if I get there and like everything feels super gross, maybe. All right, so yeah, Matthew Golden, pick 97 usually on this site. So I could probably I'm gonna take TJ Hawkinson and see if I can't push Matthew Golden around the corner. I'm not in on Pearsall because I'm not in on the Niners. No Mr. Irrelevant contract anymore. And the team has been dismantled everywhere. I don't see them making the playoffs. And that's fine. A worse defense means more throwing. That's kind of what I'm banking on. Like, wasn't it the defensive players they lost this year, or everyone they lost in free agency this year was like 125% of the cap is what they signed for, or something? Like something ludicrous. I think the 49ers have to increase production on the on offense to be, yes, exactly. And that's why I'm in on them. I think their defense is going to be significantly worse. Brock Purdy's going to try to like prove that he's worth the money. Push successful, take Golden. I feel pretty good about that. So, team so far: Nico Collins, Xavier Worthy, Tet McMillan, Matthew Golden, four wide receiver, Jaden Daniels at quarterback, Devon Achan and Travion Henderson, and Hawkinson. Yeah, well, thank you. I did a bunch of the $1 ones. Like, they had a $1 20 max, and I've done 16 of those. I was basically doing them as I fell asleep. And I noticed that you could do whatever you wanted with these rookies. Almost. Team, nice. Appreciate it. I mean, and Travis Hunter goes at the same spot, but he's the only rookie that tends to go where he go. And Genty, they're the only two that seem to go where they do on Underdog. And I mean, where I took Golden there was still 11 picks before ADP on this website. So that's why I was willing to push it. Because if somebody over here takes him, it's still fine because in some of the future drafts, I'm still going to be able to do that. Let's go look at the board and try to call him out. I don't think I would try to push that guy on DK. I mean, I guess it looks like these other two people, like, they're doing things that make sense. Wydad is like, I'm assuming you know Wydad, so Wydad's not gonna mess with it. Uh, I don't know Nate, but everything he's done looks reasonable. So I probably would have chanced pushing Caleb Williams there as well. Wydad was like, I used to see him in Bayou Bengal streams all the time, and he drafts pretty reasonable. Like he stays in lanes, does what he's supposed to. So you have that information now for the future. Like it's nice to like know who the people are. Like you remember the names of people who are doing wild stuff, right? Like when people are doing absolutely crazy stuff, I like it. Push successful. Uh, it was a good call to do it. Both of them had a stacked. Like if Patrick Mahomes wasn't stacked, there's probably zero chance you try that push, right? But because both of them are actually stacked with quarterbacks with builds that look reasonable, taking that chance makes sense. Oh, Tyler Warren's another rookie that actually goes kind of where they do on Underdog. All right, so what do I want to do here? Achane. I might go Andrews. I think I'll just go Mark Andrews. Have two solid tight ends here, Hawkinson and Andrews. I could be done. This actually sets up perfectly to where if I feel really good about my team in the last round, I can take one of the three rookie tight ends. So, and I can basically not even look at that position now. Speaking of doing crazy stuff, I got the 12 hole last night and the Bowers McBride tight end and Lamar Hurts early. And oh, you did? Did you like the way it looked or did you hate it at the end? I know you said you were just going to do that once for the lulls. So I'm curious how it turned out. I bet you felt like you were scrambling the entire time, didn't you? Either that or you were just laughing the whole time. Hate yourself more than ever. Looking at myself, brush. I could. Yeah, so I assume it didn't go as well as you thought it might. If well, I mean the 12 hole is like that anyway. Like if you get something that you like back, it feels great. I could not have asked for, I guess, Mooney or Scatabo here. I do tend to like, I don't know, maybe, I don't get to Charbonnet very much. I think I'll just take a Charbonnet share here. Um, get a little bit of veteran presence in the running back room. With the way that the rookies go late, I know Gamble here is going to be taking a bunch of the guys I want late, but it'd be nice to know who the Steelers quarterback was. Milrow? I don't know. I I still think that Kirk Cousins gets traded to either the Steelers or the Browns by the end of this. I mean, the Browns wouldn't. Originally, I thought that Cousins was going to get traded to the Titans, but it definitely does not look like that's going to be the case anymore. GPS tracking devices showed Milrow faster than Gibbs, and he has the best deep ball in the league. Pickens and Metcalf would benefit from him. Absolutely. Like, I mean, he's essentially Anthony Richardson, right? Like, if the tools come together, he's gonna be insane. Rogers holding out for drama and Vikings. Yeah, I just hope what happens is at the end of this, the Vikings, like, everybody signed a quarterback and he's sitting there looking at himself not being able to play quarterback because everybody's made a move, and him waiting has cost him playing, but he actually secretly wants to play a bunch. Like, he's really wanting to play because he does. I would assume that he wants to play until the age Brady played in. Funny you make the AR-15. Yeah. I mean, they're very similar. Their throwing profile isn't great when it comes to short stuff. They have cannons. They're really good at running the ball. Him waiting at least cost him the Giants, right? And I don't think the Steelers are gonna. If let's say that the Falcons call the Steelers and give them something that they feel is reasonable, do you think they're gonna not do it because Aaron Rodgers wants them to wait? Like, that ain't gonna happen, right? Got one pick to dodge. Hopefully, old Bobby Fischer here does not snipe my quarterback. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I seen it myself and I've heard a bunch of people talk about it. And if a bunch of people come to the same conclusion, it's probably because it makes sense, right? You didn't try to float your second one? Yeah, well, floating if somebody 4 picks versus what, 18 picks is a slightly different story, right? If AR can go with fourth, I mean, yeah, I do think that because of the AR experiment, we're not going to see anybody go like take Milrow in the first. Like, maybe a team trades back into the first to take him, and if the Steelers want Jalen Milrow, I don't like. I would expect them fully to do everything they can to trade down. Like, if I'm the Steelers and I like Jalen Milrow and I want Jalen Milrow, I'm doing everything I can to like pick up an extra fourth round pick to move down 4 spots to take him. Because nobody in the back half of that draft is going to want Jalen Milrow. Yeah, we've been over this. AR, the worst pick. He's the worst or the best? Probably the worst, but the best is still a possibility. No, I agree he's probably the worst pick on the board. Like, that doesn't like but his upside is so high, I'm willing to gamble on it as a third quarterback sometimes. Like, whenever you know he's starting in DFS, everybody wants him in their lineups. So I still only have 4 wide receivers. I do need to start taking some wide receivers here. I'm good at quarterback and tight end. Trey Harris on this site goes at 156, by the way, but I'm not actually a big fan of his. I think I know what somebody else is going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull up Jaden Higgins and get one of my guys. Disaster scenario, he still gives you some Justin Field types weeks, and God forbid he actually pans out. Yeah, I mean, if he pans out, he's going to be one of the best picks on the board, but those chances are very, very low. Who is the somebody else? I think you found out. I'm assuming he wasn't making it back past you at 147. And this team needs, like, I actually need some veteran wide receivers because I have Tet, Golden, and Higgins. So I'm going to have some gross wide receivers on this team, like, and that are actually better on this website. Like, I'm probably going to take maybe a Wandale or a Demario. I understand that. I was looking at the guys there, and I do like Quentin Johnston some, but I actually like Higgins a little more than QJ. And if you weren't in this room, or if this pick was floating the other way, I would have just taken QJ and then Higgins on the way back around. Um, but I think that Higgins has the, like, QJ has a role, and I don't see that role leaving. And them bringing in Mike Williams does nothing to what QJ, and that was always the case. QJ, even with Palmer last year, was always the number three. Yeah, he had some spikes, and he was really good for best ball, but he was always the number three receiver there. So he's going to probably have something pretty similar in production this year. But Higgins has a way higher upside than QJ. And since I have two big upside guys in McMillan and Golden, I mean, and Worthy, add one more in to try to oscillate spike weeks, and then take a, like, the, I think if I do that and then take some just ugly players at the end, like I said, Wandale or Demario, or I don't know who else. There's a bunch of ugly of those receivers. Diami Brown, Darius Slayton. Like, take a couple of these guys. It'll be fine. Maybe, like, Romeo Dobbs will be hard for me to click. And Jalen Coker on this website, 175. That's one of the best picks on the board. Io Manor and Williams still to go. No, we're not correlating Williams today, though. That's not happening. I didn't hate it. And I might do it again, but not here. You darn tootin'. I'm assuming that's your last running back? Bijan, Bucky, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Tootin. That is a fantastic running back room. I'd probably need running back at this point. I've thought about drafting all big play team. Yeah, that's sometimes that works. And my running back room here has Achane, Henderson, and Charbonnet as an ugly guy. I'll go ahead and take Dowdle as another ugly floor play and add some spice at the end of it. What do you think of Naked Likely over Pitts as my tight end one, even though you have Penix? I I kind of believe the rumors that they're trying pretty hard to trade Kyle Pitts. And I've heard some theories on that the way that, like, his contract and everything's structured, that it's more likely that if Kyle Pitts is traded that it'll happen during the draft or draft week. So you don't understand Walker at ADP, Charbonnet without Walker at ADP. I don't get to it that often, and I about didn't get to it here. I think it's slightly rich, but is it really that much worse than all the people around it? Like, it feels pretty ugly down there. I think Ray Davis has huge upside potential here. Um, with the holdout, if the holdout goes bad, and he looked pretty good last year in the amount of times that he ran, and I believe they're going to try to use him a lot more. I mean, whenever the coach talks about his weapons and never mentions Pitts, it can't be a good sign. Yeah, right. I think I have like 2% Kyle Pitts, and on Underdog the other day I was drafting. I had Penix and London, and Kyle Pitts is sitting there 20 picks past ADP. And I only had one tight end, and I just took Zach Ertz. Like, probably the wrong move, but I'm completely out. I'm glad we have another person who likes Ray Davis. You could see Davis getting better and the Bills saving money with, yeah. Yep. And I don't think the Bills love Cook because he's supposedly really good in the locker room too, I've heard. So I don't think he's going to make a big deal about holding out. This feels like hey, I'm going to tell you guys I'm going to hold out because I don't want to do training camp. And then as soon as training camp's over, I'll be there. But I'm going to officially say I'm holding out. Like a wink wink kind of thing. I don't know. That's just pure speculation on my part. So the team so far, Nico Collin, Devon Achane, Jaden Daniels. No stacks with Jaden. Xavier Worthy, Teterio McMillan, Travion Henderson, TJ Hawkinson, Matthew Golden, Mark Andrews, Zach Charbonnet, CJ Stroud, stacked with Nico, Jaden Higgins, Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis. I have 3 really ugly running backs, Ray Davis, Rico Dowdle, Charbonnet, with hopefully 2 huge spike week guys. Definitely not as good as Gamblestein's room, which is Bijan, Bucky, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, and Bashaw Tootin. Would you have taken Kyle Pitts if he fell back to you where you took Tootin? I'm assuming your answer is no. A Cole Kmet, man, anytime I have Caleb Williams, I make it an absolute point that I get Cole Kmet. I don't know about you, but I would love for Coker to make it back. Or like Cedric Tillman is also available here. And I actually need a non-rookie. I think Tillman weirdly is the safer guy. Since I might have to wait on one of my 3 rookie wide receivers to do something. Tillman, just has to not get a concussion in like the first 4 weeks, right? Like, to help supplement that. You were picking between Ward and darn Tootin. Josh Palmer. I can't get to Josh Palmer. I need somebody to like talk me into Palmer. He's fine. But it's the whole. I'm assuming he has Josh Allen. Yeah. I mean, it's okay there with Josh Allen. Yeah. They did pay him. They did pay him a lot of money. You are right. And The weird thing about them paying him so much money to do the same thing that Keon Coleman's supposed to do, Keon Coleman hasn't really dropped in ADP. He goes like 5 spots later now. I I actually never did go look at that contract. I'm probably gonna do that after I'm done with the stream. Yeah, I mean, Josh Palmer is a very serviceable guy, and he can have a spike or two. I feel like, I mean, yeah, with what he did, having Josh Allen and all, like, I can't complain about any of that. So Jalen Coker makes it back. We'll just go ahead and smash Coker. And then the rest of my board is all rookies. Everybody down here is rookies. It was massive for his history. They see something in him, I guess. I'll tell you exactly what the thing they see in him is. 3 years, 36 million. That is a lot. Oh yeah, they paid Shakir a ton. So guess who Josh Palmer has all of his really good games against. You may have known this. I think you were in the Liam stream where he was talking about this. Thank you for staying along and for showing up in the first place, Anthony. Appreciate it. Might have to take out a loan to do the rest of these drafts on here if everyone is going to. Right, like I'm probably gonna do, like, I really like the way my draft looks, but I like the way my DraftKings stuff looked last year, and it didn't really pan out either. I didn't do a whole lot of them. But Josh Palmer every year has his pretty much has his best game versus the Chiefs. If the Bills are trying to beat the Chiefs, maybe they just seen, hey, you understand how to beat Steve Spagnuolo's defense somewhat, like, and I didn't look up to make sure these stats are correct. Chess Liam said this, and I'm assuming that he's not just making it up. He generally doesn't make things up. So, I mean, that would be, and he's also a Bills fan, so maybe he heard something about that on something he was looking at. And that would make sense. Like, hey, there's one team we cannot beat when it matters. So let's go out and get a wide receiver who has actually had pretty good games against him because we need a wide receiver. And maybe he'll be able to teach us, like, exactly, like, maybe there's something that he knows on how Spagnuolo runs his defense, like where the holes are or how the alignments and how to maneuver around. I mean, he did play against him for 2 years or 2 times a year for what, 4 years? So he probably will have a little information on how Spagnuolo does some things, right? That to me makes sense of being a reason they signed him. I don't know if that makes him worth 13 million a year or 12 million a year. All right, I have my two quarterbacks. I feel pretty good about all my positions. All right, so what do I want to do? I mean, I could take a third tight end here. I think I just stack up Dalton Schultz. Sorry for the way that this looks. DraftKings is not my favorite on the way it looks on desktop. The best running back room you've had in 300 drafts. It is a very good running back room. Oh, you added Martinez too? I thought you said you were done. He wouldn't have made it back to you, like, past me here. Like, I try to push Martinez a little bit on here because his ADP is 217 on this website. So I'm trying to get some shares past 200 because I have a ton of shares at 190 on Underdog. And you did. You thought you could float Io Manor, and you did. So I have what, 5 running backs, 7, 2. Running backs. And I mean, after Martinez, the running backs do get kind of gross, right? So maybe I take him. Maybe I take Kyle Williams. Um, I'll just take Restrepo. I assume that he pulled his hamstring thing is actually the truth. Like the things I seen when I watched the games I found of his, like it looked like he ran a little bit, like way better than he did during that 40. Like you watch that 40 and it just didn't look, something looked off. Probably just 2 quarterback as well. Yeah, and if you're going to stop at 2 quarterback, there's almost no reason to not go the extra running back. Yeah, there are a couple things like this. Tank Dell has an ADP under 200 on here and may never play again. Uh, there's another player that's like very, very hurt who's drafted like every draft. Who was it? I can't remember, but whenever I was doing the rankings, like I actually, whenever I made my rankings, I spent like 10 minutes just removing everybody at the bottom, and then all the injured players I did the same, so they probably won't even show up on my list. Whoops. I am not used to this website that much. I usually draft DraftKings on my phone because the platform's better on the phone. Let's see if I can. I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah, but like, who are the injured players? And I think Amari Cooper still goes at like, yeah, one. He went at 190 here, and DeAndre Hopkins goes at 159. Like his ADP is 158. I think it's 158 or 168. Maybe I'm wrong about him. Um, he burnt me last year, so I might just have a bad taste in my mouth on him. That could just be I need to. He did have what, 5 touchdowns and like 600, like 500, 600 yards last year. Couldn't resist getting one more quarterback. Ties directly into your AR stance. Yeah, and Daniel Jones is pretty far down on the drafted list on this website as well. So I need one more running back for sure. We'll go ahead and take a running back here. Yeah, I assume he's starting games guaranteed. You're talking about DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, DeAndre is a solid. Oh, you're talking about Daniel Jones. That's right. The ghost of Joe Flacco started. He definitely did. Any quarterbacks here worth throwing in? No. Like this is a good spot to be in. All I need is maybe a spike week guy here at the end of this. Uh, yeah. So the spike week tool, uh, it shows all rookies as correlated on on this. So every rookie is a team stack according to it. And since I don't have the quarterback, it shows up as blue, not green. I got out on Dart pretty early because even if he is a like best case scenario, he's going to play like what 8 games, 9 games probably. If it basically depends what bye week does the team he goes to have. Like if that team has like a week 8 bye week, he probably plays 9 games, right? Like without injuries being involved. All right, so I'm going to take Kyle Williams if he's available. If not, I'm not exactly sure. And I mean, there's a fairly solid chance that Matthew Golden could be, or Higgins, either one of them could end up going to the, or even Restrepo in like the third. But that could be a stack for old Jaden Daniels. The ADP on a couple of those rookie tight ends who I'm fond of is wild. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the ADPs they feel wild because we're coming from underdog where the ADP's been set for a while and changing the whole time. But you would think that since this contest launched later, it would be more in line with the way that they are. But it isn't. So the team's done. We will go to the players and go over it real quick. Quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud. Running backs, Devon Achane, Trevion Henderson, Charbonnet, Dowdle, Ray Davis, Brashard Smith. Wide receivers, Nico Collins, Xavier Worthy, Teterio McMillan, Matthew Golden, Jaden Higgins, Cedric Tillman, Jalen Coker, Xavier Restrepo, and Kyle Williams. TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews. And Dalton Schultz. I was going to say, I thought I clicked Dalton Schultz. It just didn't scroll down. I'm going to guess Mason Taylor before I look. Yeah. Oh, Elijah Arroyo. Okay. Yep. It's one of those two, right? Yeah, I put them side by side in my rankings. We'll go over your team too. Running backs, Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Bashaw Tootin, and Damian Martinez. Love the running backs. Quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Daniel Jones. Oh yeah. Somebody likes the team with Bijan. Apparently it's kicking me out. Maybe I can't go over these. Is it this one? Yeah, it would be this one. No, it would not be this one. It's another Nico Collins team, though. I am not a master of DraftKings yet. Here we go. This was it. All right. Your wide receivers, DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Ricky Pearsall, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, Xavier Legette, Alec Iomanor, Adonai Mitchell. Your team is very good. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think you and I both had very good drafts. And your tight ends, Elijah Arroyo, Cole Kmet, Isaiah Likely. Yeah, there's always a pick that you're kind of swaying on, and it kind of feels bad later. Like, I don't love the Jaden Daniels pick here, but with Jaden Daniels going much higher than this, usually from the teams or the rooms I've seen, I went ahead and just took him there. I don't think it's I don't think it's a objectively bad pick to take him before like Mike Evans, Harrison, Worthy, Cook, Adams. I think that I kind of feel from like pick 23 all the way to 40 are pretty close. I don't like, whoa, I missed this. I missed the Joe Mixon at 30. Let's see what else he done. Well, Lamar at 19, CeeDee Lamb, Kamara at 43. It's full PPR. Kamara gets a lot of steam. David Montgomery a full round before ADP. Addison, Reed, Bo Nix, Tyler Warren, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen without a team, Keon Coleman, Romeo Doubs, Geno Smith, Gesicki, Douglas, Williams, Scantling, Moss, and Taysom Hill. Yep, it was nice drafting with you. Thanks everybody for coming out. I have some chores to do. I will see everybody later.